Grammy-recognized, Billboard charting songwriter and composer from Chicago who's made his mark in L.A., having worked in the music industry for over 25 years now. Amongst his many accomplishments, working with music royalty, the Jacksons, writing, producing, and engineering on Jennifer Hudson's stand-up from her self-titled debut recording project. Now he's got a new single out. It's called The One, featuring sliquejayadams, my friend Earl Powell, joining us on Canada Now. Hey, Earl, it's great to have you back on the show, man.
Oh, Jeff, it's great to be back on the show. Thanks for having me again.
Well, thank you. And I got to say, like, this came out of nowhere. This track for me came out of nowhere. I have always seen you pulling the strings from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
How did the idea to put your own single out here come about?
So it's been years in the making. Like, my wife would always say, hey, why don't you do your own album? And I had several people that would, suggest the same thing over the years. And I was just never ready to do it. And now is the time. There's something great that's happening, and I'm just flowing with it right now.
Yeah, well, and this song, look, I'll say it. I think this song is everything it's smooth, it's passionate, it's regal, it's cool. I mean, The One just screams Earl Powell. Is this song all about your wife?
Inspired by her, yes.
Inspired, yeah. You can't hand over the reins of this song to somebody else. Too personal. This is too personal.
Yeah. So this song here, like, I was fooling around on the guitar, man. I was just playing around and I played some chords. I'm like, oh, wow, something here. And so I messed around with it for a while. I had my guy come in and we put some keys on it. My dude, Slim, shout out to Slim. And then I sent it to Slick, who's in Chicago. And I gave him the idea of what I wanted. He came back, he nailed it perfectly. Yeah. And so that's him that's doing the singing on the verses. I'm doing the backgrounds and stuff along with him.
Right.
And I've been working with him for a while. Shout out sliquejayadams too. He did an amazing job on the record. And so it's been about 7 years in the making, man. So we sent it to him. He did some work. And again, one more shout out, Isaiahsharkey, who also played guitars and bass, and some other instruments, did a phenomenal job. These guys are absolutely incredible as musicians and artists.
Yeah.
But it's been about 7 years in the making. And I'm like, you know what? This is the perfect time. My wife turned 25 again. And so I released this record as a happy birthday to her on her birthday, which is June 8th. So,
a belated happy birthday to her as well. And like I was saying, leading into our conversation earlier on and teasing that you were coming on, I didn't feel like you had this song in you as far as your, like, this being your song, because I've always seen you helping others. Like you're always and you make a song that's a 6 out of 10, a 10 out of 10. I mean, I have seen you help artists get beyond the finish line and more, and celebrate afterwards. Time and time again. I can count on two hands how many artists that I know that you have worked with, that you have helped out. So I'm just so immensely proud that you put your name to this.
Thank you. You know what? It was time. I mean, it was one of those, and I'm not going to say it was the easiest thing, because you're right. Like I've invested in so many people for so many years. I guess this is my season. So I'm unapologetically walking in it, and I'm taking it on, man. Like, so if God says yes, I'm moving in that direction.
And I'm seeing all the support you're getting as well from people that I would know, that I just spoke of a moment ago. And it's nice to see you getting that kind of support. But back to this song being inspired by your wife.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing I can imagine that I could do for my wife that would even come close to what you just did for yours. I mean, can you now basically screw up and do all kinds of things from here on out? Like, are you able to not take out the garbage for the rest of your life based on this song?
No, I don't work like that. Now, here's the thing. I didn't write the song just for me to her. I wrote this song for every person that feels like they have that one.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I get that. But boy, you say, hey, I made this song. You were the one that inspired it. I mean, come on. I mean, she's got to be.
Well, listen, in history, the best songs have been written. There was some inspiration. Isn't She Lovely? Stevie Wonder, like he's talking about, his daughter, being born. Like there's so many great records that are, I think when you make songs about real life situations, those tend to be the best records.
Sure.
So yeah.
And
it's relatable.
The more vulnerable you are as well. I always find, I talk to artists about this all the time, and I'll continue doing so, that the more vulnerable you are in your writing and the more personal you are, the more reach you get. If you think you're just writing about yourself, I mean, you are, but it ends up being all about everybody else.
And that's the thing. Like that's the cool part about this gift. I'm able to write something that will resonate with you and everybody else that's in that. Like it's relatable.
Yeah, totally.
So that's the cool part about it. Yeah.
I hear influences on this track, mainly, I don't know, maybe because I know you've worked with the Jacksons. I feel like I hear the Jacksons on this because you've worked on solo projects of Tito Jackson's, Jermaine Jackson, Jermaine's son Jafar Jackson as well. You helped make it so that all 9 Jackson family members had a solo hit on the Billboard charts. You co-wrote and produced Tito's song "Get It Baby." Might they have influenced this song as much as I'm thinking?
Absolutely. So even we're talking with Slick, he's got a picture in his room of the Jacksons on the wall, and so from the opening line, like you already know it's Jackson, influence. Like but here's the thing. So I used to say this in the studio, like put that mic on it, man. Give me some of that mic, and and I'm talking about Michael Jackson. So whenever I would talk to the singer, I'm like, give me some of that mic, man. Like sing it like this, sing it like that. So I'm really big on Mike. Mike is the GOAT, if there ever is or ever was or to be. He is the GOAT. Listening to some of his acapella is absolutely amazing. And to put that sauce that he would put on a song vocally to capture that's a winning recipe.
Yeah, that he is the high bar. Like if you get that,
no question,
achieve that, you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
You're doing something amazing, in fact. So who might you have shared this tune with before putting it out there? Because normally you would be the person that would be behind the scenes, mixing it, writing, what have you. But you would be the, the gatekeeper of the song. And I guess you would still be in putting out your own stuff, but you're the one that everybody would bounce things off of.
Mm-hmm.
Would you go to your small community, your small circle of peers and go to them and say, I got this. What do you think of it so far?
Yes. I went to a few friends of mine that work in radio. A few friends that Canada, they call them radio trackers. US is record promoters. Yeah. So I went to a few and I've got, great responses. DJs, of course, you can't leave DJs out.
Right.
There's no music without the DJs. So I've gotten a great response, and then the people who love great music like R&B, soul, and music within that genre, this genre. I went to them to see what they thought about the record, and it's been a great response.
Yeah, well, that's great. The pandemic certainly got in the way of everyone's travel and everyone's plans, and you had made a habit of coming to Toronto. It's where we met. I got to meet you here, and we've met several times since then. And you just recently came to Toronto. I couldn't see you this time around, but you just came to Toronto. You dropped in for a few days. How was that for you?
Emotional. It was great. Well, it was emotional when I walked in the studio.
That place it's got so much history. It's so beautiful.
Goodness.
What a creating space that is. It's just magical there.
And the best part, I got to see my brother benpelchat. So yeah, man, and that was kind of emotional because we've been working remotely for about 3 years now.
So you hadn't seen each other that long?
It's been 3 years, yeah.
Because you guys are like brothers, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. So to see him in person and to be in that room and all of the songs and all of the memories and stuff that we did, in that room, and oh my goodness, it was great. And then I did a Mentors Cafe with Kathy Hahn, which is another Kathy Hahn. I love Kathy.
I love Kathy too. I'm glad you mentioned her. Thank you for that. Earl Powell, check out his new single, The One, featuring sliquejayadams. Earl Powell, a pleasure having you on the show as always, my friend. It's great to catch up and to be in touch with you, and look forward to our next conversation, buddy. Take care.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
All right, you too.